History is full of firsts.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Many of those firsts shaped our way of life. For 70 years, KPRC Channel 2 has been proud to be pioneers in shaping television and Houston history.
In a state the size of Texas, I hope everyone can enjoy.
Calls in the storms Thursday.
Minutes before 9 o'clock, the crew's here telling her.
For the first time in a long, they had 11. Send us some of your pictures.
Isn't it good to work for a place that has a sense of history? And indeed it is.
See, taking the president from Spring to College Station following.
If you have something you'd like Channel 2 Investigates to check out, call the tip line at 713-223-TIPS or email investigates@click2houston.com. Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News at 4.
Now at 4, Houston police getting the word out about this man accused of 3 cases of sexual assault.
And police say he was very careful when it came to covering his tracks. Channel 2's Bill Barajas is live in West Houston with what police had to say today. Bill?
Well, as you mentioned, that serial rapist is wanted in 3 separate cases. Police say his most recent one happened here in January off of Richmond near the Beltway. Police say he not only sexually assaulted a woman, he stole her debit card and used it, and that's how they were able to identify him. This is Brandon J. Carter. The 28-year-old is wanted in connection to 3 aggravated sexual assaults.
Very brutal to his victims, using a pistol, covers their eyes in different methods, and uses ties to bound them during the sexual assaults.
Houston police believe Carter stalked his victims. Investigators described one of the cases and explained how Carter was methodical about not leaving evidence at the scene.
She was by herself, her boyfriend wasn't there, and sexual assault to her and made her watch and everything else. Tried to cover his tracks and no DNA left behind.
Investigators say Carter has been in and out of jail since 2009. His rap sheet includes charges of evading arrest, possession, and public lewdness. Police say his latest crimes have taken place over the last 7 months and have been committed in 2 locations, West Houston and the Greenspoint area.
Very horrifying. I just advise everybody to be careful, stay in groups, keep your cars locked, and don't talk to strangers.
Marion Beverly was passing through the Greenspoint area. She says the news of a serial rapist is enough to keep her away.
I need to get back in my car and get back on my side of town.
And again, Carter remains on the run. He's been charged with credit card abuse and aggravated sexual assault. If you have any information or are a victim, you're asked to call Houston Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS. Live in West Houston, Bill Barajas, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Bill, thank you. Also breaking right now, 4 men are in custody after police say they robbed an AT&T store. This happened on Kirby Drive just off Rice Boulevard. 3 of the men tried to make a run for it, but police eventually caught up with them. Officers also arrested a getaway driver near Wake Forest Avenue. New at 4, a former Spring ISD elementary school teacher accused of inappropriately touching 2 10-year-old girls is facing new accusations today. Former Eikenrote Elementary School 3rd grade teacher Danilo Martinez is charged with indecency with a child. Martinez was accused earlier this month of touching 2 10-year-old girls on multiple occasions, including at a Christmas party. Today, new accusations have been made against Martinez. They claim the former teacher inappropriately touched 2 9-year-olds.
All right, turning now to our weather. Hey, if you're into cool, damp, and cloudy weather, then you're in luck. Question is, how long is it going to be sticking around?
Yeah, got some changes coming around. Frank, you should tell us how many changes, how much change.
So it seems like always, right? There's the look. You can see it's low visibility, certainly across the area. And it's been cool today. That front came through. It's kept it in the 50s. I think it's going to stay there for the better part of the evening. In Galveston, low visibility with some dense fog advisories for the marine interest. 1 mile visibility there in Galveston, 7 downtown, 5 at Bush, Huntsville, Katie's at 5-3 in Morton. So watch out. If you're headed out, it's going to continue to be a gloomy one. There are the dense fog issues. Flooding up across Alabama and Mississippi, parts of Tennessee with snow, ice, freezing rain. Looking for another few inches of it in parts of the Panhandle as this low moves across. That's going to be the game changer. So we say pretty much the way we are until that front gets here. That'll be tomorrow morning, and then that sweeps on through, leaves us with really a pretty nice one as we head into Thursday. So we'll talk all about it. The cool temperatures, how long they are with us, and I think for a while is the answer. Cold front timeline for you. Let the good times roll the weekend. First for Mardi Gras. Looks pretty good. Keith?
All right, sounds good, Frank. Thank you. Keep track of the rain and changes in temperatures by using Frank's free forecast weather app. You can download it by searching KPRC in your app store.
Nearly 2 years after the shooting death of an 8-year-old little girl, the man accused of pulling the trigger is found guilty.
A jury in Fort Bend County convicted Jacoby Payton of murder this afternoon. He was accused in the death of 8-year-old Damari Atkins back in 2017. Channel 2's Andy Sirota is live at the courthouse in Richmond, where he spoke with the victim's family. Andy.
Keith and Christine, good afternoon. The jury found Jacoby Payton guilty of murder after 8 hours of deliberations. Damari Atkins' family was inside this courtroom as that verdict was read. Her dad tells me today's decision, today's verdict will allow his family to take a step forward from all of their grief and pain.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Jacoby Dante Payton, guilty of murder.
Flanked by his attorneys, there was no reaction from Jacoby Payton, now a convicted killer, after a jury rendered its decision, finding him responsible for the murder of 8-year-old Damari Atkins nearly 3 years ago. Outside the courtroom, after that guilty verdict was read, an outpouring of emotion. Latoya Thomas, Damari's mother, embraced by her family members, held tight by loved ones as the news sinks in. Deetram Atkins, Damari's father, says today's decision has been a long time coming.
It was a weight lifted to knowing that I can't bring her back from this verdict, but it's the fact that some justice will be served.
Payton, who was 19 at the time, shot and killed 8-year-old Damari Atkins after a crash on Fuquay and the Beltway in 2017 while she slept in the back seat of her mother's car. During the trial, his attorneys tried to raise doubt that Payton wasn't the shooter, pointing to evidence collected at the scene, including bullet fragments and shell casings, while also questioning the credibility of some of the witnesses.
Somebody had to fess up for what they done.
Atkins says he has chosen not to give a victim impact statement. He wants to instead focus on all the wonderful memories of his sweet little girl.
Nobody wins at this. Nobody wanted this. I just wanted justice for my baby.
This case has now moved into the punishment phase. Payton faces a sentence anywhere from 5 to life in prison. Damari Atkins' father tells me that no amount of time behind bars will ever bring back his daughter. Testimony in the punishment phase picks back up tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Reporting live in Richmond this afternoon, Andy Sirota, KPRC Channel 2 News.
Hopefully some level of closure for that family, Andy. Thank you. Well, breaking now, a total of 3 people, including a child, found dead between the Houston and San Antonio areas.
One man found dead in Guadalupe County, northeast of San Antonio, and a woman and child found dead inside that man's home in Sugar Land, and investigators say they are connected. Channel 2's Sally Mamdou is joining us live in the Greatwood subdivision of Sugar Land, where police are now investigating. Sally?
As you can see, Christine, right behind me here, we are standing just outside this home. Police have yet to confirm the relationship between the 2 people found dead inside the Sugar Land home and the man who turned the gun on himself in Guadalupe County. But they do tell us that all 3 live inside the home. We are learning that among the 2 people killed is an 8-year-old child. Now, police say the 2 have been dead for a couple of hours, and their bodies were discovered during a welfare check by police that came as a request from another law enforcement agency located just 133 miles away.
From an investigation led by Guadalupe County. They found a deceased male in Guadalupe County and contacted us as they realized that this residence is where that male lives, so we want to go and make contact with the family.
And again, police tell us they plan to be on scene for several hours in order to investigate this entire area. They're also canvassing different parts of this neighborhood. For now, we're live in Sugar Land. Sally Memdu, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Sally, thank you. New developments regarding the Astros sign stealing scandal. The former player now is talking about the controversy ahead of spring training.
Yeah, we're talking about Marwin Gonzalez. Channel 2's Vanessa Richardson joining us now with more on what he had to say.
Yeah, well, if you played for the Astros during the 2017 season, you're going to be asked about the scandal during spring training. We do know that much. But today, the comments that were heard from Marwin Gonzalez were interesting, to say the least. Gonzalez, of course, is the first position player to actually apologize since the scandal came out. He spent 7 years in Houston before heading to the Minnesota Twins. Gonzalez had a stellar season the year the Astros won the World Series, hitting that grand slam versus the Rangers, this game versus the Red Sox. So today, Gonzalez told Bob Nightingale from USA Today that it's impossible to know whether the Astros would have won the World Series or not without stealing those signs. He also talked to local media about his regrets. Here's what he said.
I'm remorseful for everything that happened in 2017. Everything that we did as a group, and like the players that were affected directly by us by doing this in some of our teams, and then that's what I feel the more regret, and that's what I'm remorseful.
And former Astros pitcher Joe Musgrove now with the Pirates weighed in as well. This coming from Jason Mackey of the Post-Gazette. Musgrove said if MLB did an investigation as thorough as they did on the Astros with every other team in baseball, they're going to find a lot more than they want to find. He also said when you surround people with that much technology and you put it where it's that available and that accessible, at some point someone is going to take advantage of it. As far as the 2017 World Series, Musgrove said, I don't want to say it's tainted, but I think it is. So obviously this is significant. Every former player is being asked, but Marwin being remorseful is something we haven't really seen yet. Also, Marwin telling Bob Nightingale from USA Today that he doesn't know whether or not the Astros would have won without the sign stealing is a new narrative. Charlie Morton, Dallas Keuchel, a lot of the other former players who have apologized have all basically said, okay, we cheated, but we would have won anyway. So Marwin kind of adding that extra, I don't know if we would have, is really interesting. Of course, Jim Crane also promised an apology from the Astros. Randy McAvoy is there, and we'll see if the public gets that apology from the Astros.
Yeah.
All right.
They're going to face this all season long.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
Vanessa, we appreciate it. Thank you. Meanwhile, pitchers and catchers reported for Astros spring training today. Sports director Randy McAvoy will have reports from West Palm Beach, Florida, beginning at 10 o'clock tonight. The battle against the coronavirus in the U.S.
Coming up, what the CDC says it's going to do, what it's doing to keep an epidemic from happening here.
And the new development in a case Channel 2 Investigates has been following for years now. What a judge has ruled in the case of convicted killer Lamar Burks.
But we first want to give you a look at some of your traffic times at this hour. Right now, things looking pretty decent in most directions. Less than half an hour to get to Katy from downtown Houston on the Katy Freeway. If you're going to Clear Lake on the Gulf Freeway, it's going to take you less than half an hour. Up to the Woodlands, 35 minutes on the North Freeway.
North Carolina steak.
Channel 2 Investigates has learned a big development in the appeal of a 3-decades-old murder. Lamar Burks has been in jail for a murder in 1997. All along, Burks said that he didn't do it. Now Burks is getting a new hearing. It's set for March 30th. A former DEA agent connected to this case was convicted for lying in other cases. Today, a judge ruled that DEA agent will be brought into court in March to testify.
I woke up to clouds, cooler temperatures. It's staying that way.
Some people like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, if you can sit and watch movies and read a book, it's real nice. Out and about, though.
Coffee to room one. Coffee to room one.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, I love this. So this cat loves my voice and here rushes to the TV. So I have friends who have a cat like that.
Yeah.
And he says, when you come on at 10, the cat comes upstairs to go to bed.
Wow.
And I said, what happens when I'm on vacation? He said, the cat sleeps downstairs.
That's so funny. The kitty's probably looking for Teddy, who you always
Frank
show.
is the cat's meow.
That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
Categorically speaking.
Yeah.
All right. 56. dew point's 55. When they're that close, you know it's really humid out there and it's messy. Galveston right now, I'll step back and you can see the fog on the seawall, so watch out there. Marine interests are under dense fog advisory. 61, dew points at 60, 97% humidity. Everywhere you look, the temperatures have been pretty much where they are all day long, and they're not going to change much as we go into this evening because we have a north wind and a lot of cloud cover, as you know. So right there in the mid-50s, 61 on the island, humidity 90 to 100%. Visibilities have cratered in a lot of spots, so be careful. There's the north wind, 9-10 miles an hour, pretty consistently. So when you have this consistent pattern, it just doesn't change a lot. So here's the futurecast for temperatures as well as rain. You're going to notice a couple things. First of all, these winds out of the north tomorrow morning begin to shift. Look at that. We could be at 6 a.m. at 67, 68 degrees. So warmer tomorrow morning when you wake up than it will be for the rest of the day because that front will be coming through. And as that happens, behind it, there's a north wind. So a quick little warm up. And now here comes the front. As it gets here, this is 10 a.m. A lot of the action is well to the north. But if you're one that gets one of the showers or thunderstorms, you may be under it for at least a little bit as it moves through. So be careful. Could see anywhere from a ½ an inch to an inch of rain with that. And then it moves through and some lingering showers through 2 o'clock. Once we get back to 6 o'clock, and you'll notice we're right back in the mid-50s for the afternoon, then we're clear. So we see a lot of sunshine coming through for Thursday. In the meantime, rain amounts are going to be heaviest where we would see some of these showers off to the north. But a couple of inches of rain is certainly a possibility, but a ½ an inch to an inch. Now, you need rain up there. The drought monitor comes out every Thursday. It'll come out again next Thursday. But this is what we have right now, and that's moderate to even severe drought. Severe up around Madisonville. So some good rains and some good soaking rains are certainly a blessing. And then you can see down around the valley, some of these red areas are extreme drought there. So we'll take a little bit of rain. We just don't want any flooding rains. You can see the showers are mostly off to our north. There's the low that's going to continue to slide across. Gets here tomorrow, moves on out. Once we get to tomorrow night, we're clearing. Beautiful for Thursday and Friday. They look terrific. This high is going to move along and bring in a flow off the Gulf. So I think Saturday may be a little cloudier, and perhaps along the coast we scrape in a shower. But generally the weekend is going to be pretty nice. Next front doesn't really get here until Monday, and so you'll see some rain chances Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for next week. So the clouds are in place. 30% chance for the rain. I've got temperatures going up a little bit as we go into the early morning hours simply because of that shift of wind to be out of the south. So keep an umbrella handy at least through tomorrow at noon. In the meantime, 70% chance, 66 I've got to start, 56 to end on Wednesday. And then it's a little cool for Thursday, 44 and 58, but a sunny cool. 40 and 60 on Fridays. Mardi Gras begins Saturday and Valentine's, I should mention. Saturday looks good. I think Sunday's going to be all right. 72 for a high. There are those chances of rain, 20, 30, 70% as this next front moves across. And then we're back to Mardi Gras again, right? So it looks like it'll be nice for that. You know, we're going to be hosting live the Momus Parade on the 22nd, that Saturday. So I'm under a lot of pressure to make sure the weather's perfect.
Yeah, gotta be. The weather has to be good for a party.
I know. I'm going to be out there with you. I'm pretty excited about it.
It'll be fun. We're right there at Fishtails on the seawall and all of the Momus Parade coming through. We're going to be talking and walking.
Good stuff.
And it's going to be a party.
Yes,
all right.
It'll be fun.
Frank, thank you. All right, coming up, what researchers say could help wipe out cervical cancer in the next couple of decades.
And the chances of getting a surprise medical bill after you've gone through an operation.
Topping our health headlines today, nearly a fifth of medical operations may lead to surprise bills.
Yeah, this could happen even when the surgeon and hospital are in network. Researchers at the University of Michigan looked at the insurance claims for more than 347,000 patients who had one of 7 common operations. The lead surgeons and the surgery locations were both in network. Despite this, more than 20% of the procedures resulted in a surprise bill that averaged more than $2,000. Scientists say patients should check their insurance network and ask about billing practices when they schedule an operation.
A new study suggests cervical cancer could be eliminated if efforts to stop it are stepped up. The study in the Lancet Public Health Journal says that increasing cervical cancer screening coverage in the U.S. to 90% could speed up elimination of the disease and avert more than 1,400 cases a year. The American Cancer Society says more than 13,000 new cases of cervical cancer will be diagnosed in the U.S. this year alone.
The Food and Drug Administration says there is no evidence between cell phone use and cancer. The agency said it reviewed nearly 11 years of published data on the topic. They said there were no significant effects in humans caused by exposure to cell phones, but the FDA does want more research, including on people who might be predisposed to tumors.
Coming up, new details on the merger between between Sprint and T-Mobile, which is one step closer to happening. What this could mean for customers' cell phone bills.
And what Southwest Airlines now wants passengers to do if they see any bad behavior on board their flight.
Welcome back. Well, the country's third and fourth largest wireless carriers will now be allowed to merge.
A federal judge approved a merger between T-Mobile and Sprint. The deal is worth $26 billion. According to the Wall Street Journal, most Sprint customers will switch to the new company, which will keep the T-Mobile name. T-Mobile has promised not to raise prices on existing plans for at least 3 years after the deal. The merger could be finalized in early April.
Southwest Airlines will now ask passengers to report unwelcome behavior to a flight attendant. A spokesperson for the airline confirmed the language had recently been added to the airline's pre-flight briefing to, quote, ensure a safe and welcoming environment at all times. Flight attendants have established procedures about what to do, including reseating a customer, notifying the captain, and getting law enforcement involved upon landing.
A new survey shows 77% of millennials and Generation Z adults expect financial help from their parents when it comes to buying their first home.
Loan Depot conducted the survey. The most common expectations included help with a down payment, co-signing the mortgage, and helping with closing costs. The survey showed most of those expecting help with their down payment were looking for less than $10,000.
All right, Pizza Hut, it's unveiling an all-new creation, mozzarella poppers pizza. The company says it is taking the mozzarella stick and combining it with pizza crust. An order includes 16 crispy mozzarella stuffed squares with 2 sides of marinara sauce for dipping. Pizza Hut also bringing back the much-anticipated heart-shaped pizza just in time for Valentine's Day.
Nothing says I love you like a heart-shaped pizza.
You know it. All right, if you had enough of the viral broom challenge sweeping the internet, we did this at my house last night. You're definitely not alone.
Sweeping the internet, I see what you did there. Coming up, from a NASA administrator to the Today Show's Al Roker, see how people are going out of their way to debunk the viral sensation.
And an NFL player covers the adoption cost of more than 100 dogs at a shelter. Coming up, what prompted this self-proclaimed dog lover's good deed.